Welcome back.
To three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star.
Recently, we asked you guys to share a time you wildly decided to stay with your ex, even though they, and you finished the sentence for us, and we got a lot of crazy fun answers and replies. So we wanted to share some of those with you today. But first, do we have anyone here who wants to share why they stayed with an ex?
I'll just go. Might as well. Get it out the way. I'm sure I've said it before on here. But so basically, the last guy I was dating, long distance, and we always made these plans to meet up, whether his state, my state, a different state. And every time I would go, he would pretty much ghost me. I would see him for like an hour. He would ghost me, stand me up. Continued to date this man or whatever he wouldn't even say we were dating probably. Ugh. But the last one, the biggest one of all, we talked about me flying all the way to Puerto Rico. Mind you, we're in Arizona, so literally all the way across the effing country. Fly to Puerto Rico. He claims that he would pay for half of it. I go all the way to Puerto Rico. He literally sees me for like 5 minutes and completely ghosts me on this effing island. And I mean, ghost like did not hear from this man, was not texting me back, was not reaching out to me. And then literally 2 days later, after I spend 2 days on this island alone, I fly back and he texts me, basically breaks up, quote unquote, with me and ends things and didn't give me half of the money for the trip. And we stopped talking, but probably a month or two after that we rekindled things. And at the time I thought everything was actually like better than ever, I'll be honest. And then obviously here I am today. Not talking to him anymore. But yeah, I mean, is crazy. And I continue to put up with that. So that's just wild to me. So that's mine.
Girl, it is wild.
The eye twitch. Ugh.
I know. So what was it for you that you think, well, because you said you guys rekindled.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we waited like a month or two, couple
okay.
months
So
between.
some time.
Yeah, it was a couple months between. And he reached out and I just thought, he's probably sorry or whatever, feels bad or whatever.
And time makes us forget, even just a couple of months.
It does, and I just constantly was just like giving him excuses because he has a very chaotic life. So I'm always just like, oh, well, this is happening for him or this, you know what I mean? So just always try to be understanding even in the craziest scenarios, and I still
Yeah.
got shit on. So
Mm.
yeah.
And now we're not doing that.
Right. Now
Mm-mm.
we're
That's
not.
locked. Close the door, throw away the key. Word
Yes.
is cut.
Right. So yeah. You guys.
Yeah, well, so okay, in my 20s, I had a boyfriend. Honestly, I didn't really like him that much, but yeah, just thinking about it, I liked him, but not enough to like go through hard shit, right? So I mostly, but this is on my part. I needed a place to stay because the apartment I was renting, we had a little bug problem from our neighbors. And I was like, I don't want to go home. So even though I knew when he was traveling, in air quotes, y'all, for work, hooking up with other people because he was like a tour guide and he went to Vegas every other weekend. And
Oh,
so sleeping with like all of these, well, I'm not gonna say like all of these, but like here and there, like hooking up with just like, what do you call foreign exchange students?
mm,
Yeah. And so I was just like, ugh, oh my God. I
mm.
know you're doing that. I'm not really that into you, but I need a place to sleep, dude. So it was more so me staying with him and working through that because I didn't want to go home until we got cleared to go home. And I was finally like, okay, bye. So that's probably when I look back, I'm like, dang, I knew he was like, just not quote unquote faithful, but I don't know if very many people are in your early mid 20s. At least the people I was hanging out with back then. Um, and then I feel like I had another, but that was like probably the main one for me. Like, just kind of work through it, settling.
All right, Britt. What do
I have a few. I might keep one or two out, but like one of the first like long time ago, I think I was a teenager, like before I had Paisley. Um, I stayed with this guy who, even though he climbed in the back seat of my car to lay on my friend's lap, I still stayed with him after that. I don't know what was going on there. And so I feel like
Where
that
were
was my
you
first.
driving?
Yeah, well, yeah, we were driving home from like some house party and just crawled in the back seat to cuddle with my best friend at the time. And I was like, this is obviously I was pissed and I like was like, get the fuck out of my car. But that was my first experience with like something's weird here. And then that's where the trust in women was gone. Praise
Mm.
be, I have a good group of women in my life now. This is a more recent one. I stayed with them even though they took my car in the
Mm.
middle of the night under the influence to go continue partying while I was sleeping and drove people home in my car. I still stayed. So those were really poor life choices on my end. But here we are. I'm
Here
sure
we
I have,
are,
I'm
girl.
sure I have others, but let's get into some of the audience ones. Those are
Ah.
pretty juicy. So some of the audience stuff, we could go back and forth through our stories. Um, so one for me, I'm gonna go through a couple that they said. So one was they invited me to go to the center of the earth to avoid the end of the world on 12/21/2012.
What?
That's cute. I didn't know the world was going to end that day. Did you?
12/21/21.
12/21/2012.
Oh, yeah, no, I had no idea what was going on in 2012.
No. Um,
That's
Another one
crazy.
was they had Bumble downloaded 1.5 years into the relationship while he was basically living with me.
Wait, he what?
He had downloaded Bumble while
A
he was
year and a half in? Yikes.
Mm.
basically living there. Yeah. And
And living.
then, yeah, they locked me out of his house after midnight while I was having a mental breakdown.
Ugh.
These are cruel.
These are solid men.
Cruel.
They quit their job and made me work for the both of us.
Mm.
They hated women, which that other one that did those things to me also hated women. And then I got some like that were just like ghosted me, and then they got back together with them, cheated, got back together with them, tried
Mhm.
to force me to have a baby with them.
What? See, we need some more details with some of these.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my ex. He kept, yeah, was trying to, yeah,
Oh.
get me pregnant. And I'm like, no,
Hell
get off the trap.
Hell
That's,
no. Yeah, there was one story I got, but she didn't give me the all the details. And she was like, "Oh, I'll message you the details," but she didn't get to me back. She said tried to kill me, but I got away, thank the Lord.
mm,
But they got back together.
mm.
Tried to kill me. What the fuck?
I know.
Why?
I was like,
What?
listen, I'm gonna need more details with that. Like now I gotta know what happened.
Mhm.
Um,
Huh? Tried to kill me. No freaking way. No freaking way.
I got a couple of those too.
really? I mean, you say some of yours, I'll go back to them later.
Well, yeah, that was a couple.
That was a couple?
Yeah, that was a
Tried to
couple.
kill me
No,
with a
like a couple
couple?
different ones. No, like a couple different people had mentioned that to me.
But how?
One was like threatened, with a weapon, basically, that they're gonna kill her with this weapon. And this is so listen to how we are, ladies, or how we have used to been. So she was threatened by a weapon, right? By her boyfriend that they lived together. And then after he threatened that, They sat on the couch, watched a movie, and he made her order her a pizza. And she's like, I ended up ordering him a pizza and I apologize for him threatening me. I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
sounds about right. Isn't that
Ugh,
sad?
that is so. We should have
Yeah.
asked a follow-up question. How much longer did you stay with this
Right.
terrible
Yeah,
human?
I don't think very long for, well, no, that one it might have been a while, to be
Hmm.
honest. Um,
And why? So I have two follow-up questions, listeners. If we're reading your stories, tell us how much longer and why. And also, how did
and
it eventually end?
what topped that scenario that you were like, okay,
I
this
gotta
cannot, you know what I
go.
mean? This
Mm.
cannot go on. Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that's crazy. I actually got a couple of them that pulled a weapon on them, which is really sad.
Yeah, that's so scary.
Yeah. And then just simple ones like, didn't wish them a happy birthday. They were together, they were in a relationship, never got a happy birthday, never got a gift or anything. It was just as if, and so I asked her, I was like, well, did he remember that it's your birthday? She's like, yeah, he knew. Just never said happy birthday, didn't do anything, didn't give me a gift.
Whoa.
Um, what else? Making them basically make money by selling drugs, basically, make them sell drugs for them. Um, yeah. Uh my one so I got a couple stories from my one girlfriend and I told her to. I was like, "Can you please come be a guest on this podcast because you have got some wild stories." Um, so she said that she was having dinner with a girlfriend and I wish you guys could see this image in my head because she did it at work. It was so funny. She was sitting there having dinner with a girlfriend and so at work we have these big pillars that you can, like sometimes we can't see people coming from behind them. So she's like, I'm sitting here having dinner with my girlfriend, and then my boyfriend's hiding behind the pole, staring around the corner, basically stalking us, watching us have dinner. And she goes, my girlfriend goes, is that your boyfriend? And I was like,
Oh
what
my.
the fuck? Yes, it is. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he was like, basically stalking her, and you know what I
Oh
mean?
my
And they were
God.
together.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And then the same girlfriend, so she's like, that's one. And then another one, she's like, we were at a birthday party and there was a jacuzzi outside. And she's like, I end up going outside and my boyfriend and this girl are in the jacuzzi and he's butt naked. And so she goes,
What?
where are your pants? And he was like, oh, the birthday boy needed my pants. So she goes, oh, he needed your pants, so you gave him your pants? And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, well, while you're out here, I really want to see you two make out. His girlfriend and the girl that he's sitting in the jacuzzi with. And so my girlfriend's like, if I make out with her, you're making out with him, the
Mm.
birthday boy. And so I go, well, did you do it? And she goes, yeah. And I go, well, did he do it? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh.
And then I guess after that, he was like, okay, now I want you to make out with him and I'll make out with her. And she's like, no, go fuck yourself. But she ended up staying, with him after that. I'm like, that is ridiculous.
Oh.
Um, and then so that was just from girls. And so I ended up
Was
getting,
that the same guy, those two stories?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, sadly, no. And so I ended up asking guys and I got a couple answers and they were like even crazier. One, she stabbed him in the leg with a fork, and so he's
Yeah.
another one, she ended up putting him in jail for 6 days, and so he continued to stay with her. And then another one was she lit all his stuff on fire, including his social security card and his birth certificate.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everyone's crazy.
hmm hmm
Mm.
Yeah, I just got a couple. I think I have this one, actually a guy. He said she slept with her boss. I was like,
Mm.
that's rough. I hope you found a safer relationship after.
Oh, that was a sweet answer.
He kicked her out, had all her stuff on the lawn, locked her out of the house, but she stayed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, I
thank
have
you.
a lot of those kicked out of the house type of vibes. I had one that was like, she said, Homeboy bought us a house and a year later kicked me out because we had an argument. I moved my stuff out, lived with my mom for less than a month, and then he begged me to come back. I did. And then a year after that, he kicked me out again. That time I took absolutely everything I bought, moved in with mom again, and never returned. Lesson: never live with a man if your name isn't on the home, and don't go back to someone who throws you out like trash because they are probably trash themselves.
Still trash. Yeah.
I have took a boyfriend back after he was awfully rude to my parents and insulted my mom's food. After he basically stole money from me and never paid me back, apologize or admit it. After he apologized as a straight up manipulative, she says curse words. Are we allowed to say curse words on here? We do. We have.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
when I read it, it's like, um, yeah, manipulative, abusive asshole whenever he was jealous or didn't get his way. Went back to him after the girl he was cheating on me with showed up at my front door. And then there's this one that was, they offered to bring me to the hospital after my car accident. Then on the way back, he brought up a fight, and after a long night, asked if we could talk about that tomorrow. Granted, she was just in a car accident.
Mm.
I had zero energy. Plus, this is the accident. I had a very bad concussion, and I just moved there for the first time. And he yelled at me, then kicked me out of his car and broke up with me the next day. And unfortunately, I begged him to take me back. This was the worst my mental health had been, and I thought he was the only thing that could help, but he was in fact the cause of it all.
Aw.
My
This.
heart.
Yeah, these are heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Wow.
I know a lot of these women now, and they've grown so much, and I'm so proud of them for that. Like
Yeah.
Mm.
this is just behavior I know that they wouldn't accept ever again.
I agree. Same from my girls too. And it's like they can, even though, I mean, these aren't technically funny topics, but it's like when they're telling it, they're kind of laughing about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like it's nice that they can kind of make light of the situation, even how crazy it is. And
Yeah.
it's sad that, we all go through something similar like that, but at the same time, it's comforting hearing these stories in the sense that, it makes us feel not alone and that we've all
Mhm.
dealt with a bunch of BS and yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do think I pretty strongly believe that we have to go through certain lessons in order to become the women that we are or are going to become. And as awful as they are, if you're intentive, is that a word? Intentive? No, 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 no. As long as you're intentional with your growth. As long as you're intentional with your growth, like those hard things are going to make you a lot stronger. And I know it's like I'm so tired of like having to be stronger, that's a big thing for women, but um we are really freaking powerful. So the lessons are meant to improve our lives,
Yeah. I
fortunately.
second that,
Amen,
girly.
sister. Well, if you guys have any other stories that you want to drop in the comments,
And we're gonna need some details on these stories, guys.
yeah.
And we look forward to hearing from you and dial into our next episode.
Until
Sweet.
next time.
Till next
Bye.
time.
Bye.
Bye.